Actions speak louder than words. A presentation on nonverbal communication by Fatime B, Michelle Hampton Porter, and Majda O. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is the communication that does not involve the use of spoken language, and it can come in many forms, such as gestures, facial expressions, and body positions. As shown on this chart, in the context of a conversation, nonverbal communication makes up more than half of an interaction. So the nonverbal is basically 65% versus 35%. Some forms of nonverbal communication are touch, paralanguage, and physical space. Feelings and emotions can be very easily expressed through body positions and gestures. These nonverbal cues say a lot about what we think and how we feel, generally speaking. Facial expressions are very easy to read since they're generally similar across the globe. Consider how much information is communicated with a smile or a frown. In some countries, like the US, a handshake is as close as two people will get. In other countries, such as France and Spain, people greet each other with kisses on both cheeks. Physical space is determined by social norms. In some areas around the globe, like in the Middle East, closeness between two people talking to each other is perfectly normal, whereas it would be considered an intrusion in one's personal space in a country like Germany, for instance. Body postures can communicate attitude, frustration, and arrogance in certain situations. Also communicates the person's feelings and emotions through the use of a certain voice, tone, and pitch. That something is acceptable. In Japan, that same hand signal means money. In Argentina, Belgium, and France, the symbol is used to mean zero. Eye movement, such as an eye roll or a side eye, can also convey a certain nonverbal message. Verbal and nonverbal cues complement each other, although nonverbal cues tend to be more accurate. An example of nonverbal communication. These are facial expressions that also contribute to nonverbal communication. There are many different reasons why nonverbal communication is important. It helps relieve tension and keeps the audience engaged, amongst other things. This chart explains how much of nonverbal communication contributes to what we hear in a conversation. Nonverbal communication also differs greatly between the two genders. Communication considers space to be communal. As opposed to low context communication, where it tends to value privacy and personal space way more than the high context one. These are examples of high context and low context countries. Thank you for watching.